hotel had been closed for nearly 20 years. Its windows shattered, its grand lobby filled with dust and silence. But every night, if you stood across the street and watched carefully, the revolving door at the entrance would turn slowly, as if unseen guests were still arriving. Some swore they saw shadowy figures dragging old suitcases inside. Others claimed the faint sound of a bellhop's chimes still echoed through the hallways, long after the staff had disappeared. Most people dismissed it as imagination. But one night, Daniel, a photographer obsessed with urban ruins, decided to spend the night inside. The moment he pushed the heavy front doors open, the stale air seemed to whisper against his skin. His flashlight beam revealed peeling wallpaper, broken chandeliers, and a reception desk covered in thick dust, except for one thing. The bell on the counter gleamed as if it had just been polished. Out of curiosity, Daniel pressed it. Ding! The sharp sound echoed through the empty halls. He laughed nervously, raising his camera, when suddenly, the old guestbook slid forward across the desk on its own. Its yellowed pages flipped until it landed on a blank line, a space waiting for his name. Daniel froze. His breath quickened. Something wanted him to check in. Against his better judgment, he scribbled his name quickly and stepped away. That's when he noticed the lobby lights that had been dead for years, flicker on one by one. He heard luggage wheels rolling across the cracked floor. He turned, and to his horror, he wasn't alone anymore. Dozens of ghostly figures had appeared, travelers dressed in fashions from the 1930s and 40s. Their eyes were hollow, their faces pale, but they moved as if they belonged there. A bellhop in a faded red uniform smiled eerily at him, lifting a hand as if to welcome him. Daniel's instinct screamed at him to run. But before he could, the bellhop pointed toward the elevator. The doors opened with a metallic screech, revealing a dim interior bathed in red light. The ghosts began filing in silently, one by one, waiting. And then the bellhop motioned for Daniel to step inside too. His heart pounded. He stumbled backward toward the exit, but the revolving doors that had let him in were spinning uncontrollably, keeping him trapped inside. He raced toward the staircase instead, climbing to the second floor. The hallway stretched naturally long, lined with doors on both sides. Some of them opened just a crack, and Daniel swore he saw pale faces peering through. One door creaked open wider, revealing an old-fashioned room. Perfectly lit, a bed turned down, luggage waiting, a key on the nightstand. It was his room. Room 217. And on the door, his name was etched into the brass plate. Daniel dropped his camera and bolted down the hall. But no matter how far he ran, the corridor looped back to the same room. The air grew colder, the whispers louder, until he realized he was surrounded by the guests, the same hollow-eyed travelers he saw in the lobby. They crowded around him, pointing toward the open door. He screamed, pushing past them, forcing himself down the stairwell. He crashed into the lobby again, but it wasn't empty anymore. The chandelier sparkled, the walls looked fresh, and the hotel was alive again. Dozens of guests filled the room, laughing, drinking, dancing to jazz music. A pianist played near the bar. But when Daniel looked closely, he saw it wasn't life. The laughter was hollow, the music distorted, the movements unnaturally slow. Every guest turned their head toward him in unison. The bellhop approached again, the guestbook in his hand. This time, Daniel saw that his name wasn't written on a blank line. It was carved deep into the page, etched in crimson as if written in blood. The bellhop leaned close, whispering words that chilled him to the bone. "Welcome back, Mr. Daniel. Your room is ready. Guests who check in never leave." The last thing Daniel saw before the lights went out was the elevator doors closing with him inside. To this day, locals say the hotel remains abandoned. But at night, if you listen closely, You can hear the faint echo of footsteps in the lobby, the ring of the reception bell, and sometimes the desperate cry of a man still trying to escape room 217. And if you ever walk by and see the revolving door spinning slowly on its own, don't stop to watch. Because once the hotel chooses you as a guest, it will never let you go.